Hello everyone and welcome back into my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time, welcome. And I'm back with yet again another K-drama tier list. You guys, I have been addicted to K-dramas lately. I have been binge watching so many, so I have a few more that I wanna do a part 2 of this tier list thing. You know I'm gonna continue to watch K-dramas regardless, and I have had a few suggestions on my last video that I've added to my to watch list. So if you have any suggestions, any recommendations of K-dramas that you think I will like based on my opinion on these videos, you can leave in the comments and I will add every single one to my to watch list. And then in future parts, you may see featured the K-drama that you recommended, because I will watch it. I will for sure. And let me just do the same disclaimer that I did in the other video, okay? This is just my opinion. I am saying my opinion on them. I'm not saying they are poorly made, they're garbage. I'm just saying I like them, I didn't like them, and I try my best to explain why. So yeah, please don't forget that this is just my opinion. And maybe if I didn't like a K-drama that you loved, it was just not for me. Please don't take it personally. We all have different tastes. And again, this is just my opinion. So let's start the video. Needless to say that this video will contain a lot of spoilers. Okay, so as I did in the other video, I am first gonna give a little synopsis of the K-dramas before I rank them, and then I rank them on an S to D tier list, and then I explain why I rate them the way I did and my opinions and yada yada. You know the business. If you watched the first one, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, what are you doing in the part 2? If you have not watched part 1, go watch it. Also, matter of fact, like my video and subscribe while you're at it. Thank you. I'm kidding. If you don't want to subscribe, you don't have to. Let's start with the first one, shall we? So, the first one that I've watched since the other video is All of Us Dead. Is it All of Us Dead or All of Us Are Dead? I'm not sure. All of Us Dead is a South Korean series that centers on a high school overrun by a zombie virus outbreak. The students facing an unprecedented crisis must navigate survival while combating the threat of becoming part of the undead horde. So this is a very simple and straight to the point summary, because that's all it is, really. It's a zombie apocalypse, a zombie outbreak that happens, and it's very focused on a high school, because supposedly is where the virus got developed. Okay, so for me, unfortunately, I will start this with a D. I did not like it, okay? I watched it all the way through the end, but I really did not like it very much. I think maybe it's just not for me. I have tried a few horror type K-dramas or Korean television series, whatever you want to call them, and I haven't found the one, you know? And I'm a horror lover. I love everything horror related. So I'm trying to find a Korean horror series that I enjoy, but I have watched a few and I just haven't found the one. For me, it was just a very basic zombie series, and I think it was just not my jam overall. So I think maybe zombies might not be my thing when it comes to South Korean shows. Next, it's gonna be It's Okay Not to Be Okay. I can't believe I hadn't watched this yet. I can't believe that I hadn't watched this yet. This drama tells the story of Moon Kang-tae, a community healthy worker at a psychiatric ward who doesn't have time for love, and Ko Moon-young, a successful children's book author with antisocial behavior who seems to have never known love. After meeting, the two slowly begin to heal each other's emotional wounds. This one? Oh my god. This one, it's so good. This one had been recommended to me by my best friend Shanna, and I had never put it on my list. Never. Until eventually I saw it on Netflix and I thought, you know, this was recommended to me. This seems like pretty good. I'm just gonna go watch it. You could really tell how the character was suffering And that's why she was acting out, because she was kind of like isolating herself. Both main protagonists had a lot of sadness, and just seeing them come together and heal each other was very, very like warming to the heart. And I really liked it for that. And I think it tells the story very nicely. What I really liked about this K-drama also is how it portrays disorders and traumas. Okay, next one I saw is called One Spring Night. One Spring Night is a realistic and authentic series that portrays romance in a pure and raw form and brings to light social issues in terms of societal status, acceptable norms, relationships between two different generations, parents and kids, self-growth, and acceptance. Don't get too mad at me, but this one will get a C. Please don't start attacking me in the comments, because I know that this is a very loved K-drama, okay? But it was just not it for me. It felt like they had a lot of issues throughout the different episodes. They had a lot of relationship issues that could have just been so easily solved through communication with each other. They had a real communication struggle. The way they interacted with each other, I really didn't think that they had like a very strong and special bond with each other at all. And for me, they had a lot of issues that could have just been very easily fixed through communicating with each other. That's just my take on it. For me, it was a little boring to watch, and it took me a few weeks to go through the K-drama because I did not like had the feeling of plugging on the TV and watching it. But this one I tried really hard to finish. And yeah, it was just not my jam. Please don't get angry. I know that this is very loved. It portrays social issues very well. Social statuses and marriages and difficult relationships with fathers. And I also enjoyed that he was a single dad. I've never seen that in a K-drama. So really liked that twist. But yeah, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. I wouldn't watch it again. Like I always say, you know, watch it for yourself, see the trailer, see how you feel about it, because I didn't like it, but maybe you will. So like, this is just my opinion. It was not for me. I wouldn't watch it again, but maybe like you like it. So next one on my list is 39. My God, I'm about to start crying just reading the synopsis of this. Like, oh my God. 39 tells the story of three friends aged 39 as they navigate love, friendships, life, and unexpected loss. The trio has known each other since they were 18, and their bond has only grown stronger with time. I'm gonna try not to cry because I don't want to ruin my makeup, and I still want to do another video after this. So I'm going to try really hard not to cry, but I can feel the tears already coming to my eyes. This one will get an S from me. Let me explain why I resonated with this so much, and I cried like a baby. I was sobbing every single episode, every minute, the whole time I watched this. I cried so much. Because I have two fantastic, wonderful, gorgeous best friends. So we are a trio, just like this K-drama. And we have known each other for a very long time also. And we have a very strong bond, the three of us together. And I love them so freaking much. Like, I could not even imagine my life without my best friends. They know how much I love them. I don't tell them enough, but they know how much I love them. And seeing this was so scary and heartbreaking because the whole series is about, like I explained in the synopsis, three best friends that are 39 years old, and they grew together since they were 18. They have lived their whole lives together, and suddenly one of them is diagnosed with cancer, and unfortunately she dies. I did warn you for spoilers. The show, it's about dealing with the fact that now you know one of them will be gone. It was just very scary to think that that is a very real possibility. You know, cancer is scary, and it's a very real issue that a lot of people in the world deal with. And I have had family members that had to go through cancer as well. And so it's very scary. It's always scary to talk about it. It's always scary to live through it, to see someone go through it. So it was very heavy on my heart. But I loved the series so much because it was so well portrayed, and the actresses were so wonderful, all of them, and seeing their unconditional love for each other and supporting their friend all the way through the very end. And then also seeing how they had to overcome that friend's loss, and continue with their own lives, knowing that unfortunately their friend had passed, was very, very, very sad. So this is a very sad K-drama, okay? I resonated with it so much, and it made me feel so much. So that's why for me it's an S tier. And if I had to put all of the K-dramas that I have watched so far into a list by order, this would be either number 1 or number 2, because this was just so good and I loved it so much. I told my best friends to watch it. I told them to prepare a lot of toilet paper or tissues, whatever they require. I, for one, needed both. Next that I watched is The Glory. I couldn't find like a really good synopsis of this, but essentially Donggun is the main character, and she survives horrific abuse by high school bullies. And then she drops out and she spends decades planning her revenge plot on all of them once they are all adults. And essentially, that is the K-drama, is the coming of her revenge upon all her bullies and abusers. So for me, this will get an A. And the only reason I will give this an A and not an S is because for me, at the very end, I think there were a few things that were left unanswered. But I also think that they probably ended it like that for a possibility of a season 2. This was a little hard to watch at first. You have no idea how many times I paused the first episode because there were some heavy things happening to this girl during high school. The bullying was awful and horrific. Like, she had to go through such horrible things, and they show you everything straight up on episode 1, and it made me so angry and frustrated to watch that, which is good because it passed that frustration to the viewer. It was so well done, the actors were so good, and like the mean girl literally looked like a psychopath. Like, that actress was so good at looking like a psychopath. She really did. Just in her eyes, the way she looked at the characters, she really looked like a psychopath. Like, the actors were so good. The only reason I'm not rating an S and I'm rating an A is because I had some things that I wish that they explored a little bit more. The main villain background story. But overall, I really liked it. It made me feel so many deep emotions. And usually when I stop watching a K-drama and I'm still thinking about it, I'm still talking about it like after watching it for a few weeks, then usually it means like it's a really good, and like it's either S or A tier. Again, the only reason I'm not going to rate it S tier is because of what I already mentioned. I kind of wish the main villain had suffered a little bit more, and I kind of wish to also have seen a little bit more of her background. I think they did leave the ending very open for a season 2. I don't know if they ever will do that, but if they do, you know that I'll be watching. Next one I watched, it was season 2 of Squid Game. So I think this one doesn't need any introduction. I also kind of feel like I need to justify a little bit why I'm rating this, because in my very first video, there was one K-drama that I watched that also had 2 seasons, and I rated it as one, not like with the different seasons. But for me, it makes sense because that one that I watched before that I mentioned in the first video, which I think was called My First Love, I watched it all in a row, like it was a one season kind of thing. But with Squid Game, I'm obviously watching it, you know, as it's coming out. So I can't really do that. And so that's why I am rating it separately. So Squid Game season 2 is gonna get a B from me. I did not enjoy it as much as the first season. Obviously, like, I know that they are leaving a lot of things open for season 3 that will be coming out this year, I think, 2025. Obviously, I know they will tie all the knots at season 3. But I think season 2 was just very vague. And the only reason I will not put it lower at like a C rating is because they also introduced some very interesting characters. I love the transgender character. I love. She is literally my favorite character of the whole show now. I love her so much. She is such a badass. And she is so gorgeous too. You know, the actor that plays that character was one of the bullies in The Glory. And look at the difference in characters that this man can portray. Like, if this is not a good actor, what is it? Like, this man portrayed this character so good. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. Love it. I'm very excited for them to explore all these characters. I know we're gonna have a season 3, okay? We'll see how it all ties in the end. Okay, after finishing season 2 of Squid Game, I watched The 8 Show. 8 Show is about 8 individuals trapped in a mysterious 8-story building that participate in a tempting but dangerous show where they earn money as time passes. This is a D for me. If we had continued the alphabet like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this would have been lower. If I could unwatch this, I would. If this doesn't tell you how hard I try to finish a K-drama when I don't like it, I don't know what will. I really dislike this. Again, I'm sorry if you like this. This is just my personal opinion. The actors were amazing. This was just not for me. In the end, I had to skip the sleeping deprivation torture scenes because I was about to throw up. Listen, I had my mother-in-law sitting on the sofa next to me. I had to skip through that, okay? Nuh-uh. I'm just gonna read whatever I wrote down on my notes. A lot of torture. I get that this is meant to be a critique of the brutal realities of capitalism, emphasizing how the system destroys from the top down. Like, you don't get to know the characters enough to get attached, and you don't know their background to understand why they would act the way they act. For example, I would like to know why number 8 acts the way she acts. Is she just a psychopath? In the end, there's no payoff or anything interesting. I hated pretty much everyone except for Fleur too, which, like, she was probably the most human and reasonable out of all of them. For me, what makes the audience watch a long TV series are the relatable characters, but the 8 Show didn't allow me to connect to any character as it lacks emotional depth. Essentially, that's just like a summary of what I wrote. Squid Game is just as violent, but for me, the 8 Show was just extremely hard to watch. The violent scenes were very hard to watch. They were just very hard to watch for me. The sleep deprivation was extremely dark and hard to see. After I watched it, I saw a lot of reviews online, and I saw that a lot of people enjoyed this. So again, this is just my opinion. For me, it was a little too violent, and I did have to skip through the sleep deprivation torture scenes because for me, it was just very, very hard to watch. Okay, so after watching a lot of violence and sad ones, I decided to pick up a romance kind of K-drama. So then I watched When the Phone Rings. When the Phone Rings is a story that unfolds when a show window couple who have been living without speaking to each other for 3 years in an arranged marriage receive a threatening phone call from a kidnapper. Ooh. So this one, I will rate it, I'm between A and B. I think it will be B. So for me, this was just like a very okay romance kind of show. There were a few things that were hard for me to understand from the main characters, like certain actions and certain ways that they behaved with each other were a little hard for me to just understand why. I just think it was okay for me. It was not bad, but it was not like amazing, fantastic, like S tier or A tier that had me talk about it after I finished watching it. Next one on my list was A Good Day to Be a Dog. The series is about a romance between a woman and a man. The woman who is cursed to transform into a dog when she kisses someone, and a man who is the only person who can break the curse, but is afraid of dogs due to a childhood trauma. This sounds so silly. Okay, I'm gonna rate this one an A. Let me explain. This is not at all the type of K-dramas that I would watch. This felt very silly, and when I watched the trailer, it looked very silly, okay? It's a goofy concept, but it kept me just wanting to see more and more and more. I just needed something, light and funny to watch to kind of unwire my brain from all the trauma from previous K-dramas that were either very violent, like Squid Game and The 8 Show. So it was just very lightweight and funny, a good atmosphere. It also does have a little bit of trauma included, also a little bit of bullying involved. It seems to be a theme in K-dramas, and I really liked to see the love of these characters kind of develop together. Again, it's just like a little silly, goofy K-drama with a lot of romance also. I would definitely watch it again. So after this one, I watched Summer Strike. Summer Strike is about people who start finding themselves after leaving their lifestyles in a complicated city and moving to an unfamiliar place to do nothing. Okay, so Summer Strike, I will put a B also. This is a much shorter K-drama. I think this only had like 11 episodes or like 12 episodes, something like that. So it was very short, and I essentially like kind of saw it in a day, basically. For me, it was a very okay story. Like, it's not that big of a plot twist. The story is nothing like crazy schemes and stuff like that. It does have a villain, like almost all K-dramas. But for me, it's a very simple, short K-drama. You get the villain, you get the plot, you get the romantic relationship, and that's it. This was advertised to me as a very romantic K-drama where there is not even a kiss involved. The most that happens is the main characters holding hands, but you could have given us a little bit more. Maybe there was a kiss and I just don't remember it. I also watched this at the same time as I was playing Minecraft. So yeah, for me, it was just a very lightweight, okay, simple story. I would probably not watch it again, but that's just my take on it. Next, I watched King's Affection, and this was recommended to me by my mom. The King's Affection is a story set during the Joseon dynasty, at the time when twins were considered an ominous sign. As a result, when the crown princess gives birth to twins, an order is sent to kill the daughter. To save her, she is secretly sent out of the palace. Anyway, the synopsis that I'm reading ends here, but I think it's missing the crucial plot twist that essentially both kids meet and they start switching places, and someone really important finds out, orders to kill the girl, but they were switched, so accidentally they kill the little boy instead of the girl. So the girl now has to pretend that she is the little boy, the prince, might I add. Okay? For the rest of her life. Buckle up, because there's a lot in this K-drama. I will rate this. Feels bad to rate it a B, but I also don't think it's quite an A. Oh my god. Okay. You know what? B is not fair. I will put it A tier. Okay? If you're gonna watch this K-drama, know that you have about 20 episodes to go through. And it's very long. Very long. My main critique is that it's very long. It felt very dragged out. And they do repeat a lot of scenes that you already saw to kind of backtrack you. I guess it's good if you are not binge watching it like I was. I binge watched this. Essentially, I think I watched this in like 3 or 4 days. So it didn't make sense for me to constantly be repeating stuff that I had just seen. But I guess if you are watching this throughout several days, you would need them to remind you constantly of what happened. And there are a few things that I feel were left unexplained at the end, which for me did not make sense. How did she heal from the poison at the end? That's never explained. Where did the mom from the prince that died go to? Like, they were banished, but then the little prince comes back. And what about the mother? What happened to the brother of the prince that wanted to take the throne for himself? That is also not explained. Like, he gets injured and then he gets healed, and then the grandfather dies, and they never tell you where he went, even after his brother became the king. What happened to him? Like, that for me was the biggest thing. Like, wait, there is still one villain on the loose. What? Nobody's gonna address that. Nobody's gonna explain that. Also, I kind of wanted to know then what happened to the prince that on the first few episodes came visiting, that cut the maid's hair. What happened to him afterwards? Is he still together with his lover? Like, I would have liked some closure on that too as well, please. So yeah, for me, there were a few things that were left unanswered, but overall, very cute love story, and also very sad. She was forced to live a life that wasn't her own. I kind of felt sorry for the queen also. Like, girl, she was so sad when she found out that she was being like cheated. But yeah, I liked it, and I love the music also of this K-drama. I have it on my Spotify. I'm addicted to the songs from it. So mom, thanks for recommending it to me. I liked it. So please watch the ones that I also recommended to you. Thank you. The last one that I've watched, that I just finished before making this video actually, was Crash Landing on You. The romantic comedy drama follows the story of a beautiful leading fashion businesswoman in South Korea meeting a North Korean military officer when she is swept up by a windstorm and accidentally getting crashed in North Korea territory while paragliding. This one gets an S from me. I binge watched this in 2 days. I watched the whole thing in 2 days. The episodes are very long. Some of them are almost 2 hours long. So this, I would say, is probably just as long as King's Affection. It has less episodes, but the episodes are very long. It's kind of like you are watching a movie every time you put on an episode, so you do need to have a lot of free time. Luckily, I did, so I binge watched this in 2 days, which is a little crazy to say. I may not have slept 8 hours this night, but you know, it's okay because it was worth it. Listen, this is one of my favorite K-dramas. For me, this is S tier for sure. I cried so much also watching this, and this made my heart skip a beat so many times. I don't know how, I don't know why. The fact that she was from South Korea and he was from North Korea, it's like the forbidden love. This was so good. It had such funny moments, made me actually burst out laughing. My heart was racing so many times. I don't know what they put in this K-drama, but really, like, my heart, there were times I thought I couldn't make it. My heart, it felt like it was gonna come out of my chest. Like, it was so good. There's so much romance. The love bond between these characters is so deep and strong. And also seeing her become friends with his comrades is just so joyful and so fulfilling to see. Oh God, it's just so good. Everything is good. Everything is good on this K-drama. The relationships, the friendships, everything is just this one and 39 for sure cannot be skipped. I will give a little hint on the next two that I have on my to watch list. First one is Tempted, and the second one is Marry My Husband. I've heard good things about these. I'm very excited to watch these. And if you have any recommendations, remember to leave them below and I will for sure see them. So I hope you enjoyed. That was it for part 2 of K-drama tier list. Again, I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings. This is just my opinion. Please still do watch it for yourself if you are interested in any of these. So please don't take it too harshly. These are just my opinions. If you watch it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.